Today's episode of Literally is sponsored by Lowe's.
Boy, I have one of those summer colds, and I've been doing this character where my voice is supposed to sound like Gavin Newsom.
Wow.
So this is my this is like
That's rough.
Just pretend you're being interviewed by the governor.
What a perfect time to be doing a podcast.
Right? I know. I didn't even think about it. I was like, fuck it. Oh, fuck it. We're going to do it. I'm so psyched to have you here.
Thank you.
I've been a fan for a long time.
I appreciate it. I think we met at, do you remember Stand Up to Cancer event?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. I think we met there briefly, but it was chaos.
Those things are really, they're great because it's such a great cause and they're so well put on, but you see everybody, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're like, oh, hey, hi. And then you're like being led away.
Yeah, exactly.
It's hey, hi, yeah, you, gone.
Yeah, I met Seth Rogen in recent years, and he said, we actually almost met at Stand Up to Cancer. You ollied off the stage and skated past me on your way out.
That's kind of...
That's kind of what it was, yeah.
That's kind of dope. Were you... was Skateboarder magazine still a thing in your day?
Yeah.
It was?
Yeah, that was my Bible. I mean, before I even went to a skate park, I had Skateboarder magazine.
Growing up, what was the neighborhood? Like, it was a street, it was a curb.
It's a suburb of San Diego called Tierra Santa, mostly military families. My dad was in the Navy. And it was, alleyways, streets, curbs. But when you think about skateboarding at that time, it was mostly just transportation. The ollie hadn't even been invented yet, so we didn't know, the possibilities.
Right.
But I liked it because it was different than riding a bike, and my brother was into it, so I had a hand-me-down skateboard. That's how I started.
What'd you ride? What was it? Do you remember?
It was a Bane fiberglass board with Stoker wheels, and
amazing.
I believe, I'm not sure what kind of trucks they were actually.
I used to have a G&S Fiberflex.
Oh, yeah.
Remember the Fiberflex?
Of course, yeah. Stacy Peralta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With tracker trucks.
Yep. That's before mine.
Yeah,
so you're more OG than I am.
Yeah. I mean, dude, I grew up with a skateboarder named Paul Hackett. Do you remember that guy?
Sure. Yep.
That story?
Yeah. Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah. It's awful.
I mean.
Dave Hackett's still around.
No way.
Yeah. Still skating.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was, and then the early 90s, it was like a dry period for skating, right? Would you say?
Well, for the industry, it was.
But not for you.
Well, it was hard for me. I've heard people cringe when they say like skateboarding was, when I say skateboarding was dead in the 90s, they're like, that was my time. You know what I mean? That was when the streets were alive with skating, and it was everything was new and fresh. And so I hesitate to say it died, but I was having a hard time making a living for sure, because I had some success in the 80s, and I'm young enough to think that's how it's going to be going forward.
Right.
And it's invincible. And then all of a sudden it was like, skateboarding's not cool anymore. And you got to figure out what you're going to do, and you got a family on the way, and I had to hustle.
What do you think makes sports ebb and flow?
Well, in the case of skateboarding, it was never accepted as a traditional sport, as parents didn't embrace it. And so it was more akin to toys.
Mm.
It was a Frisbee. It was a yo-yo. And so
right. Makes
when
sense.
I started, that was fine. Like I wasn't trying to make a living. I just enjoyed doing it, and you couldn't aspire to be rich or famous because no one was. You were just doing this toy thing. And then when I was in my 20s, after a couple of cycles of popularity, but more in the way of a hula hoop, where it was like, oh, it's big now, and now it's not. Now it's kind of big. And so when that second downturn happened, I was an adult. And it was super hard because I'm still skating as good as I ever was. But every once in a while, I'd get a call from some Hollywood production. We need a skateboarder, but they need to be young. And it was like, I could do it. So I became I became like a consultant but that was a job, right? So I would go the day before the shoot,
Yep.
show them what to frame up, how to do it. I would perform it, and they're like, all right, cool. We'll have the kid come in tomorrow and do it right.
Wow.
Yeah.
There is something just about somebody carrying a skateboard down the street or on one of the long ones that, like, the older they are, you go, wait, what's going on?
Yeah. I get those looks. Still.
You're immune. I mean, you're the made man. You're inoculated from all of it.
Well, I will tell you, like, there's a whole new generation of skaters, right? I mean, it's prolific now. There are skate parks everywhere. Parents encourage parents skate with their kids. And so
Right. Yeah.
sometimes I'll show up to a skate park and the dad or something be like, hey, that's Tony Hawk. And the little kid's like, that old guy?
Oh, no, no way.
But I mean,
Amazing.
that's fine. I think that's how it should be.
Dude, I can't even imagine what it'd be like showing up at a skate park and seeing you there. I mean, is it like, did the people just like flip?
Yeah, sometimes it causes a buzz. I think for me, there's a more selfish pride that I know they expect me to perform magic.
Right.
And it's like, I've never been here. I don't know the route. I'm not skating like I used to. So I'm just going to cruise and check it out and have fun. So I usually show up in the mornings, and we call that the adult swim hour, because that's when people more closer to my age are skating before work, or little kids are trying to learn how to skate without people flying around. So that's usually that's the golden hour.
What's the best way to learn to skate? What would you recommend? For a little kid and then for somebody who's not little?
Well, I recommend pads either way.
Right.
Because you just don't know what's going to happen, especially helmet. And I think it's more, you got to get comfortable with the motion of it. A lot of kids get into it and they want to do kickflips and they want to do big rails and jumps, and they don't have any foundational skills to get there. And that's when you start getting hurt. So I think it's more getting really comfortable on the board, being stable, learning how to turn, learning how to push properly, learning the cadence of skate parks, because if you've never been to a skate park, you end up becoming an obstacle. And you got to stand in the right places and realize what the flow is there, because it can get dangerous. But I think it's more just kind of finding a flat area and getting comfortable with the motion and the balance.
What's the biggest, steepest thing you've ever shot?
Oh, like a downhill?
Yeah, like a downhill.
I'm not much of a downhill. I never went full speed. I'm not. There's a generation of skaters now that can overcome speed wobbles. I can't. Like, I have been ejected in the worst ways from my skateboard from wobbling. So I'm not trying to go fast. I would say
Why does that happen? What's the physics?
I wish I knew that.
Do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like, why? I just thought it was bad skate.
I mean, it's kind of like it when you're experiencing it,
Yeah.
you just set it off with one tiny little adjustment,
Oh,
and then it's wobbling and it's out of control. But what was I gonna say? I think the fastest I've gone is, those big air ramps with the jump, with like the 50-foot jumps.
Ugh.
Jumping that is the fastest I've gone, and I've actually done the bigger quarter pipe, like vert ramp thing after it. And going up that wall and feeling my board start to wobble was terrifying. But it didn't go beyond control before I got in the air. So it was kind of like, oh, I'm safe. I'm in the air.
How do you train to be in the air? That's the other thing.
It's just something you work on. It's weird. There's very distinct styles of skating. So I'm a vert half pipe skater. Pools. I grew up skating pools.
Right. Yeah.
And-
That's where the air started.
That's where the air started, right? And
So I got above the coping.
that's it. Yeah. Oh, I have a photo of me first time above the coping.
Dude.
Amazing.
First time above the coping.
Yeah. Yeah, my brother just happened to be there.
That's amazing.
But that style of jumping is completely different than how you ollie off the ground on the street. So you can tell people's styles just by giving them any kind of terrain. And like my kind of ollies off the flat are very clunky because I'm used to shooting from a vertical plane. So that's just a whole different way of approaching skating and doing it. And so when people, it really depends on kids, like, what is their motivation?
Right.
Do they
right.
want to fly, or do they want to do big stunts? down stuff. They're just different approaches.
The aerial. Do they even call them aerials anymore? Airs.
Yeah.
They were full. It was just one. Nobody had made the word concise when I was little.
No.
It was aerials.
Well, yeah. So, the Folklore is the Tony Alva was the first one to do an air, and he did it front side. So when you do an aerial in the front side direction, grabbing like he did,
Yeah.
it's just a front side air.
Right.
Like that's the only one that has a generic label because it was like, that's all they knew.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
He also had one of the great autographs.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I tried to copy it on my notebooks at school.
How great is that?
Yeah.
I mean,
So cool.
so sick.
Yeah.
He's around, right?
Yeah. Yeah. He's still skating.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And the guys I idolized were like Stacy Peralta.
Yep.
Gosh, yeah. And then Dogtown, I went to Samo High.
Yep.
So I remember
Right there, right in the thick of it.
In the thick of it. I mean, it was happening. It was the
Did you ever skate Canterbanks?
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I got a photo that was the end of the era of Canterbanks, but I got to go with Stacy when I first got on the Bones Brigade. And so I have
Bones,
a photo.
my God, of
I have a
course.
photo doing a layback on Canterbanks. It's one of my favorite things.
What was the first piece of equipment you coveted?
Oh, wow. I got a Sims Andrecht model.
Oh my God, a Sims.
And
So
Dave
cool.
Andrecht was the local hero
Yeah.
of San Diego, of Oasis Skate Park. And it was the first brand name board that I ever got. Because all the other boards I got were from swap meets or garage sales or whatever. And that one was like, I got a pro level skateboard. In fact, when I got older, I missed it. And so someone actually rebuilt one for me with the same specs, same gull wings, same Sims snakes. It's hanging in my office.
What I just remember the when new wheels would come out.
Yeah.
Like it was like
So you, and this is a deep cut, but
yeah, and I know.
you were in the era of Road Riders,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So I never got Road Rider 4s because they were too hard to get. They were too expensive. And just last year, I bought a set of Road Rider 4s
No way.
because it's like, I have to, like, I
you
finally
got
got
'em.
some. Yeah. On eBay.
Are they red?
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
red, right?
Yeah.
My Fiberflex Road Riders tracker trucks.
That's amazing.
That's a good setup,
That's
right?
a good setup. Yeah.
But looking back at it, it's tiny.
Oh yeah. Yeah. All that stuff was tiny. We didn't know any better.
tiny.
Right. But then it got tiny and then huge immediately.
Yes.
So my Andrecht board was like 10 or 11 inches wide. I was 10 years old.
How do you get
You see the photos of me, like my feet are drowning on the grip tape.
So I remember they opened a skate park off of Cane and Doom Road, and they had the Whale Bowl was like that was the shit that everybody tried to do. But it was so huge when I grew up. I mean,
Everything seemed gigantic.
everything, and we would all build ramps out of plywood, and it would be off the street and up a telephone pole and all that.
Oh
stuff.
yeah. Well, I tried to build one when I was like 10, and my dad came out and he's just like, "What is this? This is a danger to everyone." And then he built me a proper quarter pipe, 4 feet wide, about 5 feet tall, almost to vert. It was amazing.
Jesus.
He put linoleum tile on the top, so I could feel like I was hitting tile before the coping.
That's above the coping. I remember for a hot second there was a piece of equipment you could get where you could Velcro your feet to the board.
Oh
Do you
yeah,
remember those?
yeah, or sky hooks. They had sort of these red
Sky
hooks.
is a good name.
Yeah, and then you just sort of put your feet under them and
Yes.
lock them in. Yeah, I did that a couple times, but at some point realized you can't bail when you're doing that.
No.
And it's just dangerous.
Worst fall. You broke your femur, right?
I broke my femur about 3 years ago. Yeah.
Wait a
that
minute. So your worst fall was only 3 years
Well,
ago?
I mean, I can't say it's the worst fall. One of my worst falls was from a 14-foot loop and got a concussion, fractured my skull, my pelvis, my thumb. That was the worst fall. You know what
yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
The thing that I did when I broke my femur, I just had a bad landing and I just was trying to recover. And in that I got tangled and my leg just snapped.
Ugh.
Yeah, it was very, when your femur bone breaks, you know it immediately because it feels like your limb is detached. It's gone. So I was sliding across the bottom and I looked up at my friend. I broke my leg and he looked down and he saw it pointing that way. He's like, I think you're right.
Oh, man. How old are you at this point?
Wow. I was 54.
Oh, no.
Yeah. That was a rough
By the
recovery.
way, just the notion of 54
I know.
skating
But
is
you know
so
what? I
good.
was still in denial of my age at that point or my limitations.
Yeah.
So I kept thinking, oh, I'm going to get back right away. Like I'm going to beat all the doctor's orders. And because I did that, I actually sabotaged the recovery and my bone never healed back to itself. Like it just stayed separated.
Oh,
So I had to have a reset.
how did you, what was it like when Activision came to you for Pro Skater 1? Pro Skater 1. It was always
Yeah.
called Pro Skater, right?
Yeah. It was exciting. I was actually pitching a game idea to a few publishers and console manufacturers just about a year prior to that, and no takers. In fact, just no interest. It was more like skating isn't even popular. Why would we make a video game with skating? And so I just kind of gave up. I was working with a PC programmer that was kind of leading the cause.
Right.
He gave up because he's like, I got to make a living.
Yep.
And then Activision called me and said, we heard you're trying to make a skate game. Well, I was, but I don't have the resources and
Right.
I'd have no interest. And they said, we are making a skate game. And we would like you to be part of it in however capacity you want. If you could just come up and see what we're working on. And I went up to Activision and they had a PlayStation. They had just done a game called Apocalypse featuring Bruce Willis. Like first time they ever did a celebrity likeness in a game. So his voice, his
Wow.
character.
Well, I didn't realize that. That's
Yeah.
cool.
But it didn't do well. It just kind of, I'm not sure why. And someone at Neversoft who made the game said, hey, this engine works better for skating than running or, just for wheels. And so the first time I ever played what became Tony Hawk's Pro Skater was Bruce Willis on a skateboard
Wow.
with a gun on his Mac doing ollies and kickflips through a desert landscape. And it was immediately, I just felt it. I immediately was doing tricks. Like the controls were intuitive. It was so fun. Just that small sample of it. And I signed on right away.
That's unbelievable. What an amazing, there's so much in that story that I find fascinating, not the least of which is you had the idea, you had the wherewithal, you were out there banging the pavement with pros
Yeah.
and no takers.
No. I mean, it was really humiliating, honestly. The meetings we took. Some were somewhat interested. I mean, we even went to Nintendo, like Nintendo Corp. And luckily, one of the guys that was in charge knew who I was and was somewhat excited about the idea, but just couldn't push it through the rest of the company.
Oh my God, that happens. I hear it with people, entrepreneurs, people, particularly people in my business.
Oh, we live in the hub of that,
Right?
of false promises and
Yeah, right.
leading you on or just getting shut down.
Yeah. Oh, after a certain amount of, you're like, oh, this feels like it has some traction.
Oh, I mean, up to a year ago, we were doing a Bones Brigade episodic show.
A year ago,
Yeah, it was definitely happening.
and then
It's not happening. Yeah.
that does not have. God, that's so. Wait, a Bones Brigade show.
Well, like
come
a
on.
scripted show.
Let's go.
It would be really fun. It would be really cool. I mean, it still has potential for sure, but we lost the writer attached to it, and it just kind of fizzled.
It never is. That's why you have to have about 1 billion things going, right? I think.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. A lot of balls in the air, as the people in my office like to say. We got a lot of stuff happening, maybe.
A lot of maybes.
Yeah.
A lot of maybes turns into one yes. And
That's
all
what it takes. Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's something I try to impart on my kids too. Like just try, say yes. Try everything.
That's what I say.
You just don't know what's going to land.
I literally say yes.
Yeah.
That's what I say. Because you don't know.
Yeah. Or that will just lead to something else. Or maybe you discover something you really enjoy in that process, and that leads you another direction with what you want to do for a living.
You're one of the lucky ones like me that I get to make a living doing what I love.
Yeah.
I mean, did you have that with your kids? You're like, oh my God, I was so lucky to never work a day in my life because I loved what I was doing. But what if they have to grow up and work for the man? Punching the clock.
I don't even, it's not, that's a tough one.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I did, yes, I do what I love, but I definitely hustled when times were tough and just sort of forced myself into whatever situation I could to pay my mortgage.
Yeah.
And, it wasn't all fun. It wasn't pretty. It was a struggle for sure. I embrace it because I was willing to do the hard work, but I feel like with my kids, especially, I just want them to enjoy what they're doing. Even if they're working for a man, that's okay. If they're enjoying it.
Right. I guess that's really what I meant is the enjoyment, because there are plenty of people who don't enjoy what they do.
Right.
That's really, I guess, what I was.
Right. Or the sort of fantastical version of what you think it is, where it's like, I have one son that really wants to get in the film industry, and he's doing it. He's doing the work and stuff, but then he did end up on a couple sets where it wasn't all fun and games, but he embraced it.
Yes. I mean, there's always that thing behind the curtain. Injuries, right? Like any athlete that I talk to, I'm always fascinated because there's no way as a fan of any sport you can ever know what they're dealing with on a daily basis.
Right.
There's living with injuries and chronic pain.
I agree.
Right?
Yeah, yes.
You're like, hey, he's been dealing with a toe issue for a long. You're like what? He's dealing with a toe? Huh? But I'm a huge baseball guy, and we're at that point in the season where guys are so hurt.
Yeah.
And now it's getting to where it matters, and they've never felt worse.
Right.
And you're like, what kind of, that is the pain management, the taking care of your body. Did you miss that era of like infrared saunas and cold plunges and all that?
Oh, and in some ways shunned it.
That's what I'm thinking, because of we're sort of the same era.
Yeah.
That stuff wasn't
Suck
around.
it up.
That's right.
Walk it off. Suck it up.
Yeah, right.
That's what I tell my kids. Like, that's what, or you're like, oh, you got your bell rang. Sit this one out.
You got your bell rang.
Yeah.
You were like,
I got a concussion. Like, I woke up in a different place.
Yeah.
But back then it was just like, yeah, you'll be fine tomorrow.
Right?
Yeah. And so, and I guess that was instilled in me. It was just like, don't complain, just work it out, go, push through the pain. And I still carry that for sure. But I've learned to embrace, especially at this age, I've learned to embrace the help.
Right.
Because I can't do what I do at this level unless I'm really working hard at it on the outside time.
Chiropractors, stretching.
Yeah.
Body work.
Body work and working out. Like that wasn't part of skateboarding.
No,
that was the antithesis of skateboarding.
How much of surfing was, because obviously they're intertwined.
Sure.
But they also felt very, like I have friends who are, but a lot of them don't skate, but in the day they did. Do you think that's a thing?
Well, I mean, skateboarding was, of course, an offspring of surfing.
Right.
It was sidewalk surfing, as we called it,
right,
back in the day. And they were intertwined. My brother was a surfer. Actually, he was the editor of Surfer magazine for a long time.
Oh, wow.
And so I couldn't get by without surfing just from peer pressure from him.
Right, right, yeah, right.
Even when he's in town now, he's turning 70. And even when he's in town now, he's like, how are the waves? We're going surfing. I'm like, I don't even know if I have a board set up, but it was much more intertwined in the 70s.
Yes.
And then as skating progressed, and obviously sort of the style and the tricks went beyond what was happening in the waves, it became its own thing in the 80s. And now I feel like surfing's borrowing from skating. Absolutely.
100%.
Yeah, do the airs and stuff. But I don't think there are a lot of people that do the crossover.
Yeah. It's weird. You'd think that there would be.
I got to say, just from personal experience, like I when people say, aren't you, I'm terrified of huge waves.
Wow.
And then people are like, but you'll ride a 30-foot ramp. Like that ramp is not going to come after me if I fall. You know what I mean?
It's not going to hold you
It's
down.
not going to hold me down and bury me. And then another one's coming after it.
But it's like it's made of metal and wood.
Sure, but I just know how to fall. So I'm not that scared of it. And it's been decades of experience doing that. But but yeah, I've done, and I've had hold downs. Like I know the fear.
It's real.
It's super scary.
What's the thing anybody can do to, if they're falling? It's just make yourself relaxed, right?
Yeah. Well, if you're skating ramps, knee sliding is the key to safely falling, and that is definitely an acquired skill that if you're planning to skate any kind of ramps, you just figure it out, and then you realize like, oh, I can. If you take one step to lessen the impact, and then drop to that knee, and then slide safely. I mean, I've been doing that for my whole life. If you're in the streets, it's more about how do you run out of stuff? How do you kind of roll stuff? Yes, relax in a way, but just kind of be ready for any moment it's going to go wrong. You can't just plan for, well, if I don't make it, I'll be okay. I'll step off. It's more like you might hit a rock on the way up. You got to be ready for anything.
Ugh. The dreaded rock.
Yeah, we call it rock fart.
And then you're just,
I did yesterday.
No way. You were skating yesterday?
I was skating yesterday, yeah. I was skating. We are opening a hot chicken sandwich place in Encinitas. And I helped design it. So the patio is patterned after a pool I grew up skating.
Amazing.
And it's kind of skatable. So yesterday we were trying to shoot some photos before the furniture gets in, and I hit a rock going up to the wall. It just fell into the wall.
How fun was it to find a pool that you had to jump the fence?
I got to say, I got lucky in that I grew up in the era of pools built for skate parks.
Yeah.
So pools that were relatively smooth. I mean, in comparison, not at all.
Right.
They had their flaws, but they were made to skate. And so when I would be faced with, hey, we're going to go skate this backyard pool, I'm like, cool. But no one had skating in mind when they built it. And so we're going to have to deal with kinks. And yeah, there's a fun challenge to that. And I've definitely, been kicked out of places, gotten tickets, got arrested. But it was to me, I was just like, I want to go skate the pool that they built for us.
Yeah.
That I'm not going to get kicked out of. So I just didn't have that renegade mindset.
Well, it's funny. I have been surfing less since I've started surfing Kelly Slater's wave park.
Oh, that's the worst.
Because it
That's
ruins.
the worst. It ruins you. Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah. I mean, any of them. I've been to Waco a few times.
Yeah.
I went to one in Australia, and the idea that there's a set coming through, and if you miss one, you paddle back out 2 minutes later, another set comes in. You have priority. It's insane. It's so spoiled.
It just completely fucks with your head.
Yeah. Yes.
And so people will be like, "Are you going to come? We're going to do a surf trip down to this." I'm like, I don't know. You go all the way down there and sit in a lineup, and it's crowded.
And you might not get surf.
And you might not get surf.
Yeah. We went to a pretty remote town north of Puerto Vallarta to go surf, and got skunked for a week. We were with our kids, so it was kind of fun, but the driving factor was that we were going to surf this one break, and we got it was about 3 foot the first day we were there, and then nothing the rest of the time. I mean, but that's how it goes.
That is it. But I so relate to that. I'd rather do perfect conditions. I know they're going to be there.
Yeah.
Even if you have to pay a little bit more for it.
But they're building more and more. The price is coming down. It's going to be available to everyone soon.
The one in Abu Dhabi, I hear, is the gnarliest one yet. I mean,
really?
Because in that area of the world, it needs to be bigger, best.
Right.
So it's bigger,
yeah, I've
faster,
seen footage of it. It's got a bigger face.
More powerful, faster wave.
Yeah, I mean, you can get hurt on those too.
100% you can. Particularly if you've never learned to ride the barrel there, because you have to have a wave that has to barrel to learn the barrel ride.
Right.
And those are very hard to come by.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the other thing. The amount of experience you can get in the short amount of time being like, if you don't know how to surf at all
Right.
and you go there for a weekend, you come out as an advanced intermediate surfer,
Sure.
which would have taken you, 5 years in the wild?
At the least. Yeah, at least.
Right? Wouldn't you say?
Yeah. I think that there's something to be said too for skating, just with the amount of facilities and resources now. You can become a solid skater in a much shorter time because most likely there's a good skate park relatively close to you.
So Tony Hawk Pro Skater is 3 and 4. So that how many iterations have there been? I'll read it to you. You probably don't even know.
Well, it's hard because there's been so many phones and devices and consoles and iterations.
Right.
You know, if we're looking at just solid titles, about 18.
18.
Yeah, but 3 and 4 is a remake of our 3rd and 4th games.
And that's the one that had the historic soundtrack, correct?
Well, I think if you ask fans of the game series, each one had really solid soundtracks all the way back to the first one. But I do hear a lot of people pointing to number 4 as one of their favorites.
That's what my boys were. I said I was interviewing you, and they were like, "You got to ask him about the music."
Yeah, I mean that was really, to me, just incidental, unlikely point of the whole game was that I didn't expect that was going to be the takeaway. We were just throwing the music that we heard growing up at the skate park. That was my goal. It was it was like it was Dead Kennedys and Black Flag and
it's amazing.
You know, all this punk that I grew up hearing, going to shows and whatnot, and that was the sound of skateboarding. So to add that into it was, to me, just intuitive and natural. And then when a whole new generation of gamers and skaters heard it, they're like, "What is that music?" And I think a lot of people played that game in their formative years. And you know, when there's just something that for me, it was skateboarding and skateboard. It was Marina Del Rey.
Yeah.
Marina Del Rey skate park. I was there. Circle Jerks showed up and played a show.
No way.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. And that was the day that the cover of Group Sex was shot at the skate park. I was there. Like all that stuff, those are my formative years. And so that's what catered my musical tastes. And I'm just thankful that I got to share it with the new generation.
Well, thanks for coming. This is so fun. I feel like I could bro out. I mean, by the way, just for the record, I'm a terrible skateboarder. I'm terrible.
You can't be that terrible if you had a Fiberflex.
Right? I mean,
yeah.
Yellow and black. Oh,
yeah,
dude.
amazing.
Fucking so sick.
Yeah.
Out on Point Doom.
Oh, yeah.
Shooting Gray Fox.
That's so cool.
Shooting Gray Fox was the thing.
Yeah.
That's a big
the hill. Yeah.
Big hill.
Yeah.
And guys would routinely, the guy who Sean Penn based Spicoli on, would shoot it routinely. And I would like do the bottom third. And even then, like the death wobs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I learned that early on. Did you ever see the people that did street sliding?
Oh, it's insane.
Yeah. That was more my style because then you don't have to go so fast. You can just speed check it and put your hands down.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I was trying to imitate way above my league and ability. But this is great. Thanks for coming, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was fun.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of Literally, sponsored by Lowe's.